Welcome back to the deep dive. So, if your calendar said we should be winding down for the holidays, well, Google AI clearly did not get that memo.
No, not at all.
This final week of 2025 wasn't just busy, it felt like a massive strategic inflection point. We're seeing breakthroughs in foundational science and these huge, expensive moves to lock down future infrastructure.
It was absolutely a dual-track strategy. You could see it so clearly. They were focused on pushing the absolute ceiling of capability, the abstract genius stuff, while at the same time securing the physical floor needed for robust scalability.
The frontiers and the foundations.
Exactly. They were working both at the exact same time.
That's the perfect framing for our mission today. We are diving into Google's strategic announcements from December 21st to the 28th. And why this week matters so much is that Google crowned its AI champions in these elite human competitions. It transitioned its flagship model, Gemini 3 Flash, to be the global default for pure efficiency, and then it dropped nearly $5 billion to secure its energy future.
Just a quiet week then.
Right. Okay, so let's unpack all this, starting with those headline-grabbing research achievements that closed out the year. For years, the bar for AI was, mastering games like chess or Go. Now we're talking about proof of true abstract genius. The biggest news was Gemini DeepThink achieving gold medal status at the International Mathematical Olympiad, the IMO.
This is an unprecedented landmark. I mean, people really need to understand that the IMO is a competition-testing creative mathematical proof, not just calculation.
Right, it's not about crunching numbers.
Not at all. It's about generating a rigorous novel argument for these incredibly complex theorems.
And the mechanism here is so important. An advanced version of Gemini DeepThink was officially graded, certified by the actual IMO coordinators.
And it solved 5 out of 6 problems perfectly.
5 out of 6. That earned it 35 total points, which puts it right at that prestigious gold medal level. But the key thing, you said it, is that it worked in natural language.
That's the whole ballgame. It generated proofs that a human mathematician could actually read and verify. And it did it all within the strict 4.5-hour time limit.
Previous systems couldn't do that.
Well, they might use what's called formal verification languages, which are really specialized tools for computers. Operating in natural language means the AI had to truly understand the nuance of the problem and then explain its logical steps in the human language of mathematics.
So it's moving from pattern matching to something closer to genuine reasoning.
That's what it signals, yes. And that abstract ability immediately translated to practical engineering challenges. Gemini also achieved a gold medal level performance at the International Collegiate Programming Contest, the ICPC World Finals.
The ICPC, so a totally different domain but the same level of performance.
Exactly. The ICPC requires understanding these highly complex real-world algorithmic problems, and then you have to strategize a solution and implement it flawlessly under huge time pressure.
And Gemini 2.5 DeepThink competed live. It solved 10 out of 12 problems and ranked second overall.
Second against the world's absolute top university teams.
But here's the kicker. The moment where the machine just definitively surpassed the elite humans in the room.
Problem C.
It solved problem C, which no university team solved in the entire contest.
And that's the moment. That ability to solve problems that stump the world's best collegiate minds, that signals that AI is moving into frontier research. These abstract reasoning skills, whether it's in math or coding, are the foundational requirements for truly complex science.
Like what? What are we talking about down the line?
Oh, designing new materials, optimizing microchips, eventually drug discovery, all of it.
Speaking of optimizing, Google DeepMind also announced AlphaVolve. This is a Gemini-powered coding agent built for algorithm discovery. The idea of a model improving its own efficiency feels like sci-fi made real.
It kind of is. AlphaVolve uses this evolutionary framework. It pairs the creativity of Gemini with automated evaluators to find and optimize code.
Right.
And critically, it found a way to speed up the core matrix multiplication kernel within Gemini's own architecture.
Okay, by how much?
By 23%.
Wow. A 23% speed up sounds massive.
Yeah.
What was the practical result of that?
That speed up translated to a 1% reduction in Gemini's total training time.
Okay, 1% sounds small.
But it's not.
Yeah.
When you consider that training a frontier model like Gemini costs hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars in compute, a 1% reduction is a colossal efficiency gain. It's a staggering monetary value for their R&D budget. It's a direct strategic advantage.
Right. And just to wrap up the research segment, a year-end recap confirmed Gemini 3 Pro is setting new state-of-the-art benchmarks in pure math. specifically getting a SOTA score of 23.4% on the MathArena Apex benchmark.
Which just reinforces this trend. These models are getting fundamentally better at verifiable complex reasoning, and to complement that, Google also closed the year by releasing Gemascope 2.
And this is their largest open source move for interpretability, right, to tackle that black box problem.
Absolutely. It's an open suite of tools to provide visibility into the inner workings of their Gemma 3 models. It is the largest release of its kind to date. We're talking about 110 petabytes of data. It's Google really committing to community-driven safety and just understanding how these models get to their conclusions.
So these abstract genius achievements, the IMO, the ICPC gold medals, they're only valuable if you can deploy them efficiently.
And affordably.
Which brings us to Google's massive deployment shift this week. The headline here, Gemini 3 Flash is rolling out as the global default model.
This is the real strategic pivot of the week, I think. Gemini 3 Flash is now the default across the Gemini app in AI mode in search, and it's scaled to AI Studio and Vertex AI.
Okay, so why Flash and why now?
It shows Google is prioritizing efficiency and, pervasive capability over just raw, slow power. They're delivering what the industry calls pro-level reasoning, but at high speed and at a fraction of the cost.
We have a metric on that.
Okay.
It got a SW bench verified score of 78% for agentic coding. What does that score actually mean for a user or a developer?
So SW bench is a really critical benchmark. It tests an agent's ability to autonomously fix real bugs in actual production code. A score of 78% suggests capability far exceeding older, slower tools. It means the model can handle complex, multi-step coding and repair tasks quickly and reliably.
And that cost priority directly impacts developers who are, constantly watching their API bills.
Precisely. By making Flash the default, which is a highly efficient model, Google is making that frontier capability dramatically more affordable. It's priced at less than a quarter of the cost of the Pro tier. This just democratizes access for a huge number of developers who couldn't afford the higher-end models before.
And beyond just text and code, Google's extending this out globally with Nano Banana Pro, their image generator.
Yes, Nano Banana Pro, which is powered by Gemini 3 Pro, expanded to AI mode in search in nearly 120 countries in English. This means more users worldwide get non-subscription access to one of the most capable image generators right there in the search flow.
And on the utility side, Notebook LM introduced data tables.
This is a great user-facing feature. Notebook LM, which synthesizes info from documents you upload, can now automatically structure that information into exportable tables. And it showed a 10 percentage point increase in accuracy for unstructured data extraction. It just makes data synthesis verifiable and much more usable.
Finally, Google also released updated Gemini 2.5 Flash native audio models and, at the same time, launched a live speech translation beta in the Google Translate app.
This is huge for global communication. These new translation capabilities cover over 70 languages and are now fast enough to be used in latency-sensitive apps like Search Live. So you can think of it as a seamless, real-time translator embedded right in your phone. It makes global conversation feel much more natural.
Okay, let's pivot from the virtual intelligence to the sheer physical requirements of AI. You can have the smartest models in the world, but if you can't power them, they're useless. The headline here is a massive acquisition. Alphabet acquired Intersect Power for $4.75 billion.
This is one of Alphabet's largest non-core business acquisitions. It was announced on December 22nd. A definitive agreement to acquire Intersect Power, which is a data center and clean energy infrastructure developer, for $4.75 billion in cash, plus they're assuming the debt.
That is a staggering sum.
Yeah.
Why does an AI company need to buy a power company? Doesn't Google already have massive data centers?
This deal directly addresses the critical energy bottleneck that's facing the entire AI industry. I mean, high-end models like Gemini 3 are incredibly energy-intensive to train and to run.
So this deal secures what? Power plants?
It secures multiple gigawatts of power generation and data center projects, and this enables Google to co-locate power generation directly with new data centers. They can essentially bypass the constraints and the delays you get from conventional power grids.
So it's not just about cleaner energy, it's about strategic resilience and speed.
Exactly. It's about securing supply and controlling the entire pipeline. Every other frontier AI company is struggling to scale because of power constraints. By buying Intersect Power, Google gets to manage the massive and frankly unsustainable energy demands of these next-gen models. They can keep scaling without waiting on local utilities.
And this acquisition, when you pair it with their regional investments, it really shows how serious they are about physical scale.
Yeah.
We also saw a local strategy advancing in the U.S., right? That massive data center project in Monroe County, Georgia.
Yes, that Monroe County project is a tangible piece of Google's broader $25 billion investment strategy over 2 years. The purchase of that huge 948-acre plot for over $40 million is strategically positioned to handle the power requirements needed for cooling. It really proves the Intersect Power acquisition is about solving a systemic global problem, not just a localized one.
So with the scale and power of the infrastructure secured, the next challenge is managing the risks. This week, Google showed its commitment to transparency and also made a pretty significant internal structural change. Let's start with how they're tackling deepfakes.
They launched video verification capabilities directly in the Gemini app. You can upload videos up to 100 megabytes or 90 seconds, and the system will tell you if the content was generated or edited by Google AI.
How can it verify video that easily?
It uses their proprietary SynthID watermarking technology.
Like a visible watermark.
No, think of it more like a digital fingerprint embedded in the video's DNA. It's imperceptible. The system analyzes both the audio and the visual tracks, and it pinpoints the exact AI-generated segments. It's a direct way to address these huge trust and transparency issues in generative media.
They also became a founding member of the Agentic AI Foundation, the AAIF.
Right, which is a Linux Foundation initiative. This is a commitment to interoperability. The AAIF is focused on consolidating open-source agentic infrastructure projects. By joining, Google is signaling they're committed to open vendor-neutral standards rather than trying to lock everyone into their own ecosystem.
Finally, maybe the most impactful internal move this week was the strategic reshuffle that formally integrated the Gemini team into the DeepMind division under Demis Hassabis.
This consolidation is purely a strategic speed and safety measure. They are effectively forcing the frontier researchers at DeepMind and the commercial product people from Gemini to sit at the same table.
What does that do?
It just creates a much tighter feedback loop. So new safety breakthroughs go straight into user-facing apps, and on the flip side, research is guided by real-world deployment challenges. It accelerates the innovation cycle while being absolutely crucial for managing safety in these next-generation, increasingly autonomous models.
Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive with a marquee example of how these new capabilities are being adopted by major enterprises. We saw a big partnership with Al Jazeera.
Yes, Al Jazeera Media Network announced an expanded strategic partnership with Google Cloud to launch The Core, which is a new AI-integrated journalism model.
How does an AI model like that change how a global news organization actually operates?
So The Core uses Google's Gemini Enterprise and specialized agentic AI tools to embed generative AI into pretty much every stage of Al Jazeera's news production workflow. The goal is for AI to go from being a passive transcription tool to an active editorial partner.
So it's suggesting story angles, drafting summaries.
Exactly. Rapidly drafting summaries, automating routine data gathering tasks. And this whole initiative is being rolled out to all 17 Al Jazeera bureaus, which really sets a new global standard for AI in journalism.
Which means faster, better summarized global news coverage for you, the consumer. And finally, Google took a moment this week to look back. They published an official year-end roundup cataloging the 60 major AI announcements from 2025.
This retrospective is pretty astonishing. It just underscores how AI became the absolute core of Google's strategy in 2025. It covers over 10 product areas, 3 generations of Gemini models. It's an authoritative index of the company's full-scale AI transformation.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner? This final week of 2025, Google showed us an AI ecosystem that is simultaneously achieving human elite abstract reasoning, getting gold medals at the IMO and ICPC, while also rapidly optimizing for cost and securing massive future infrastructure.
Right, with the Gemini 3 flash rollout and that Intersect Power acquisition.
Exactly.
And the consolidation of research and deployment into that single DeepMind entity, plus the aggressive move to secure energy, it strongly suggests Google is preparing its foundations for a 2026 landscape that's going to be defined by increasingly autonomous and powerful AI agents. The key takeaway is that the era of AI as a passive tool is officially ending. It's being replaced by systems capable of deep, verifiable, and highly efficient reasoning that can act on their own.
Here's a provocative thought to mull over, building on that AlphaVolve agent we talked about. That system is already designing more efficient algorithms for Gemini's own training, saving the company huge amounts of time and money. So if AI is now teaching itself how to learn and evolve faster, using its own processes for continuous self-improvement, how long until its chain of innovation moves beyond our ability to fully follow or predict its exact progress? Something to think about as we head into the new year.